Team Canelo Alvarez slams David Benavidez, but they say bring on Jermall Charlo. That's the fight we want. Before I get into this next video, make sure that you smash on my like button and make sure that you sub to the channel if you haven't already subbed to the channel. So recently, the trainer, the manager, and the one who makes all of the decisions for Canelo Alvarez. Recently, we heard Canelo Alvarez say, hey, I do whatever Eddie Reynoso tells me and wants me to do, right? So Eddie Reynoso recently, he came out and he spoke on Jermall Charlo and he spoke on David Benavidez. Now, David Benavidez, who is 25-0 with 22 KOs, is the name that people have recently been screaming and yelling for Canelo Alvarez to fight, right? At 168 pounds, the super middleweight division. Now, in the past, people have been screaming for a long time that they wanted to see Jermall Charlo and Canelo Alvarez get it on. And we still got a lot of people screaming for that fight, but more so recently, it's been David Benavidez. Now, David Benavidez, like I said, is 25-0 with 22 KOs, and we got Jermall Charlo, who is 32-0 with 22 KOs. These are the two fighters that fans have been really screaming for a long time for Canelo Alvarez to get in the ring with. Well, Eddie Reynoso recently talked about Canelo Alvarez in his next move, and he addressed David Benavidez and Jermall Charlo, and this is just what he had to say. I'm gonna read it to y'all. Eddie Reynoso, manager and head trainer of Saul Canelo Alvarez, sees no reason to make a fight with two-time super middleweight champion David Benavidez. The veteran trainer is not impressed so far with Benavidez's level of work, and he doesn't see any need to fight him at the moment. If you look at his record, he's not beaten anyone. The most he has done is win over Anthony Dirrell, who for me is a champion who did not have a great run. Somewhat mediocre at 168 pounds, Eddie Reynoso told Diego Benavidez, right? He also goes on to say, many have called Benavidez overrated. He has also been a world champion, but they took the title from him due to indiscipline, once for doping and the second time for his weight. He has gained a reputation for what he does and he doesn't do. That he knocks people out, that he throws a lot of punches, and that he would be a very difficult opponent for Saul. But what motivates us to fight him? This is what Eddie Reynoso is saying. He says, what motivates us to fight him? He has won practically nothing. He fights with C-class opponents. Canelo is currently the undisputed champion at 168 pounds. At the WBC recent convention in Mexico, he was given permission to make a big jump to cruiserweight to challenge WBC world champion Ilunga Makabu. And he says, now that we are going to get to cruiserweight, I see it being feasible that Saul can win. That's why I asked for the fight. In the gym, he fights with heavyweights, and I have seen how he knocks them out in the gym, Reynoso said. Outside of the fight with Makabu, Reynoso indicates that there is interest in facing opponents like WBC middleweight champion Jermall Charlo, and they are open to a trilogy fight with IBF middleweight champion Gennady Golovkin. As a champion, we have to look at the best opponents, fighters with titles who generate expectations. We want to fight Jermall Charlo, and there is also Golovkin, Reynoso said. So that's what Eddie Reynoso had to say, and you seen he completely shut down any idea of Canelo Alvarez getting in the ring with David Benavidez. Now, although he did make some points, he does have a point when he says that David Benavidez, he haven't fought any top level opponents. Because if you look at David Benavidez's resume, all of his opponents are C-class level or lower opponents, except for one opponent that he did name, and that was Anthony Dirrell. And, Anthony Dirrell is my dude, but he had some good points about Anthony Dirrell. He said, Anthony Dirrell, he didn't really have a good run at 168. And that's the best opponent on David Benavidez's resume. Now, the thing is he goes on to call out Jermall Charlo. And he says, we want to fight Jermall Charlo. But if you moving up to cruiserweight, and you have said recently that after cruiserweight, you're going to light heavyweight, that means if you fight Jermall Charlo, because Jermall Charlo is a champion at middleweight, and you said that you only wanted to fight champions, right? This is what Eddie Reynoso just said that I read to y'all. He said that, Canelo Alvarez is only looking to fight champions. Well, Jermall Charlo is a champion at 160 pounds. So if you fought Jermall Charlo, you would either fight him at 168. That means he would have to move up and fight you for your belts, him offering nothing to you, or he would have to move up all the way to light heavyweight at 175 and fight you for your belts. So that's why I get kind of confused, because you said that you only want to fight the other champions. And you already stated before several times that you can't make 160 anymore, that you won't be moving down to 160 pounds. And you was already at 160 and you moved up supposedly because you couldn't make the weight anymore. They made some good points. Eddie Reynoso made some good points, but I just couldn't understand the Jermall Charlo thing when he says that he only wants to fight champions. Canelo Alvarez against Jermall Charlo, it's a good, solid fight. It's a fight that I definitely see Canelo Alvarez pretty much dominating that fight. That's just my opinion. I don't think that Jermall Charlo can beat Canelo Alvarez. But at this point in time, people is wondering, why are you now calling out Jermall Charlo? Because before, when y'all were at 154, at 160, it looks like that's a fight that could have been made. Now, we have heard several rumors from several different sources that they did offer Jermall Charlo a contract to fight Canelo Alvarez, and Jermall Charlo turned that contract down. That was actually even said by Jermall Charlo's twin brother, right? He verified that. He said, yeah, they sent Jermall Charlo a contract and he turned it down to fight Canelo Alvarez. Now, Jermall Charlo denied it, but we've heard several different sources and his own brother say that he turned down the fight. So you pretty much can't deny that, But the thing is like, I don't know why he turned it down. I don't know if it was because of Al Heyman. His advisor advised him that, to turn down the fight because he didn't want him to go over to the DAZN network and fight. I don't know what it was. But at the end of the day, we know that he did turn down a fight with Canelo Alvarez. So with all of that being said, is Canelo Alvarez willing to go to PBC once again and make a fight with Jermall Charlo? And is Jermall Charlo willing to, maybe have to move up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez? So all of that really confuses me when you have a David Benavidez that is willing to come up to 175 pounds and to do whatever he got to do to fight you. And David Benavidez is really the fighter that people are running around saying that you're afraid of. David Benavidez is the guy that can make a huge fight. A huge fight. Both y'all Mexican. Y'all can make that fight on a Cinco de Mayo. Y'all can make it in September. Mexican Independence Day. And so that is a huge fight that y'all can make. And like I said, I do like the Jermall Charlo fight. It just confuses me why Jermall Charlo now, all of a sudden, when Jermall Charlo, right, he's not acting like he want to move up from 160 pounds. And then it's just really hard for me to see Jermall Charlo moving all the way up to 175 when Eddie Reynoso, Eddie Hearn, and you all have said that you're going to campaign at 175 after you come down from cruiserweight. And another thing, if you listen to the interview that I read you, Eddie Reynoso clearly says I picked Makabu because I've seen Canelo Alvarez fight heavyweights in the gym, and I've seen him stop heavyweights in the gym. So he's clearly letting you know this is a strategic move, right? We scouted Makabu, and we looking at Makabu, and we know that that is a fight that he can win. Eddie Reynoso told you straight out, I wouldn't have taken the Makabu fight if I didn't think that Canelo Alvarez could beat him. And he knows that's a fight pretty much 100% that he can win, right? It's an easy pickings. He went up there and he sees that, Canelo can become a champion again. He could pad his stats and he get an easy win against a cruiserweight. It'll look great on his resume. And then we'll move on to light heavyweight or whatever division that we want to take on after this, and we'll do great things. This is just a money grab, something that's going to look good on his resume. He basically just straight out and said it. So everybody that's talking about, oh, this is a dangerous fight, him fight Makabu at cruiserweight, is nothing dangerous about this fight. Benavidez is a much more dangerous fight than Makabu. Jermall Charlo is even a much more dangerous fight than Makabu. But anyway, I'm not hating on what Canelo Alvarez is doing. I just want to know what he's going to do after he fights Makabu. Are we going to see Canelo Alvarez in the ring with a Jermall Charlo? Are we going to see Canelo Alvarez in the ring with a Triple G? Triple G is a fight that I do not want to see. It makes no sense at all for Canelo Alvarez to have a third fight with Triple G. That's a fight that I don't want to see. But it's some heavy hitters at light heavyweight also that he can make some great fights. So let's just be patient and let's just see what Canelo Alvarez is going to do in his next move. That's my video. Make sure that y'all smash the like button. Make sure that y'all jump in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this video. What do y'all want to see Canelo Alvarez do after he moves back down from cruiserweight? Who do y'all want to see him fight next? Let me know. There you go, talking that boxing again. Hit my like button and I'm gone.